motive in the murder of a Seabrook mother in front of her children.
As police continue the search for the suspect, we're learning they believe he killed the victim to avenge his brother's murder.
ABC 13's Jessica Willey is here to break down the stunning revelation, all new at 10.
How did a seemingly loving relationship turn into a chilling tale of revenge and murder? This is the haunting question that hangs over the tragic story of Mary Jayne Collins, a young mother whose life was brutally cut short in a plot so deadly and calculated that it defies comprehension. In the picturesque town of Seabrook, Texas, Mary Jayne Collins was known as a devoted 23-year-old mother, full of life and dreams for her two young sons. Her days were filled with the warmth of family, the laughter of children, and the hope of building a brighter future. To those who knew her, Mary Jayne was a symbol of resilience and love, always putting her children first despite the challenges she faced. But beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic life, a dark, twisted scheme was unfolding. Dawayland Hurst, a man who entered Mary Jayne's life as a caring and supportive partner, harbored a secret so chilling that it would ultimately lead to her untimely death. What appeared to be a genuine relationship was, in truth, a meticulously planned act of vengeance. This wasn't just a tragic case of domestic violence, it was a cold, calculated plot, fueled by a desire for retribution against Mary Jayne's past. Hurst's intentions were clear: to strike back at Michael King, the father of Mary Jayne's children, who was serving time for a crime that had set this deadly chain of events in motion. As we delve deeper into this story, we'll uncover the layers of deception and betrayal that turned Mary Jayne's world upside down. We'll explore the lives of those involved, the events leading up to that fateful day, and the shocking truths that emerged in its aftermath. Join us as we seek to understand how a seemingly loving relationship became a chilling tale of revenge and murder. This is more than just a story of tragedy, it's a cautionary tale, a reminder of how hidden motives can lurk beneath the surface of our lives. As we remember Mary Jayne for the vibrant spirit she was, we also confront the darkness that led to her demise. Stay with us as we unravel this compelling narrative, searching for answers and lessons that can help us prevent such heart-wrenching stories in the future. Welcome to True Crime Tales HQ. I sincerely thank you, my esteemed viewers, most especially my subscribers, for your endless support. At True Crime Tales HQ we share true told and untold crime stories. Please don't forget to subscribe if you are yet to subscribe to this channel. Also share this video so others can learn from this story. You never can tell who might be passing through or know someone passing through one form of domestic violence that needs to learn from this story. In the heart of Seabrook, Texas, lived a young woman whose life radiated warmth and determination. Mary Jayne Collins, at just 23 years old, was more than a name in the headlines. She was a devoted mother, a resilient spirit, and a beacon of hope for her two sons. But who was Mary Jayne before the tragic events unfolded? Let's take a moment to walk through her life, to understand the person behind the tragedy. Mary Jayne's journey was one of love and perseverance. A native of Texas City, she was known for her cool, easygoing nature. Her childhood was filled with dreams and aspirations, much like any young girl. But life, with its unpredictable turns, presented challenges early on. Becoming a mother in her teenage years, Mary Jayne embraced her role with unwavering dedication, determined to provide the best life possible for her children. Her days were a testament to her commitment. Each morning, she woke early, preparing her boys for school, a routine that symbolized her devotion and love. Her modest apartment, nestled in the Teakwood complex, was adorned with the joyful chaos of family life: children's drawings on the fridge, toys neatly organized, and photographs capturing milestones of her sons' lives. To those who knew her, Mary Jayne was a resilient force. Friends described her as loving and selfless, always placing her children's needs above her own. She navigated the complexities of co-parenting with grace, maintaining a civil relationship with Michael King, the father of one of her children, even after his incarceration. Her belief was simple yet profound: her sons deserved to know their heritage and family history. Weekends were reserved for family, often spent at her grandmother's house, a sanctuary where dreams were shared and hopes nurtured. Mary Jayne spoke of her ambitions to return to school, to move into a larger home, and to create a stable, loving environment for her sons. Her vision was clear, her goals within reach, until everything changed. As we paint this portrait of Mary Jayne, we see a woman who was not defined by her circumstances but rather by her strength and determination to overcome them. Her story is one of hope, dreams, and the unyielding love of a mother. It is this vibrant life that was tragically cut short, leaving behind unanswered questions and a community in mourning. In remembering Mary Jayne, we honor her journey and the light she brought to those around her. Her life, though brief, was filled with meaning and purpose, a legacy that continues to inspire those who knew her. In the shadows of Seabrook's quiet streets, Dawayland Hurst emerged as a figure wrapped in complexity and contradiction. To understand the man behind the crime, we must journey back into his past, a past marked by familial bonds, loss, and a consuming thirst for vengeance. Dawayland Hurst was born into a world that was, for the most part, ordinary. Yet, like many narratives of tragedy, his story was underscored by pivotal relationships that shaped his life. Among these was the deep bond he shared with his half-brother, Dijon Triplet. Dijon was more than just family to Dawayland, he was a mentor, a confidant, and a guiding force during turbulent times. Together, they navigated the challenges of their upbringing, finding solace and strength in each other's company. However, the bond that held them together was shattered in 2020 when Dijon was murdered by Michael King. This event marked a turning point in Dawayland's life, plunging him into a world of grief and anger. The loss of his brother was more than just a personal tragedy, it ignited a fire within him, a relentless desire for retribution that would come to define his every move in the years that followed. As Dawayland grappled with the void left by Dijon's death, his thoughts turned increasingly towards revenge. The pain of losing his brother became intertwined with a singular focus on making Michael King pay for his actions. But with King behind bars, Dawayland's path to vengeance took a twisted and calculated turn. In the depths of his anguish, a plan began to form, a plan that would target the one connection linking King to the outside world, Mary Jayne Collins, the mother of King's child. Dawayland's motivations were clear, to strike at the heart of King's life by destroying the woman he held dear. It was a plan born not only of anger but of a cold and calculated desire to inflict the deepest possible pain. Dawayland's mindset was an intricate weave of emotions. On one hand, he saw himself as an avenger, a man seeking justice for his brother's untimely death. On the other, he was consumed by a darkness that clouded his judgment and drove him to commit acts of manipulation and deceit. To those who knew him, Dawayland presented a facade of normalcy, yet beneath the surface lurked a dangerous determination to carry out his plan, no matter the cost. As Dawayland's intentions crystallized, he set his sights on Mary Jayne, weaving himself into her life with a precision that belied his true motives. Each interaction, each gesture of care, was part of a larger scheme to gain her trust, only to betray it in the most devastating way. In Dawayland Hurst's background, we uncover not only the story of a man driven by revenge but also the chilling reality of how far one might go when consumed by the desire for retribution. His journey from a grieving brother to a calculated perpetrator serves as a cautionary tale of the destructive power of vengeance and the far-reaching consequences it can have on the lives of all those it touches. As we delve deeper into this story, we are left to ponder the complexities of human emotion and the choices that lead one down a path of darkness and despair. How do we reconcile the pain of loss with the need for justice, and at what point does the line between the two become irrevocably blurred? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Before we continue, if you find this story impactful, please take a moment to like and share this video. By doing so, you help it reach a wider audience who might benefit from its message. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more stories that aim to educate and inspire. Your support can make a real difference. The story of Dawayland Hurst and Mary Jayne Collins began in a place as unassuming as any, a bustling shopping mall, where the ordinary and extraordinary often intermingle. Among the throngs of shoppers, their paths crossed unexpectedly, a chance encounter that would set the stage for a tale woven with deceit and hidden intentions. Mary Jayne, a devoted mother, was there with her 2 young sons, navigating the aisles with the practiced ease of someone accustomed to the demands of motherhood. Her boys, full of energy and curiosity, found joy in the simplest of things, their laughter a bright thread in the tapestry of everyday life. It was here, amidst the colorful displays and the hum of activity, that Dawayne approached. With a friendly smile and a natural charisma, he engaged Mary Jayne in conversation, his easy manner immediately putting her at ease. But it was his interaction with her sons that truly captured her attention. Dawayne played with the boys, their laughter echoing through the mall as they chased around the benches and displays. In those moments, Dawayne seemed to be the kind of person Mary Jayne had been hoping to find, a caring individual who could not only connect with her but also embrace her children with genuine warmth. Little did she know, behind his charming facade lay a heart burdened with dark intentions. Over the following weeks, Dawayne began to appear more frequently in Mary Jayne's life. He would visit her home, always bringing a small gift or a treat for the boys, gradually weaving himself into the fabric of their daily routine. His presence was soothing, a balm for the stresses of single motherhood. He helped with chores, played games with the kids, and offered a listening ear when Mary Jayne needed someone to talk to. His efforts were not in vain. Mary Jayne's heart began to soften towards him. The walls she had built, protective barriers against the unpredictability of life, slowly crumbled as Dawayne's apparent kindness and reliability eased her fears. To her, he was becoming more than just a friend, he was a potential partner, someone who might help her build a future filled with stability and love. As the days turned into months, their relationship blossomed into something deeper. They began dating, the bond between them seemingly growing stronger with each passing day. To outsiders, they appeared the picture of happiness, a family unit on the brink of a new beginning. But beneath the surface, a deadly plot was unfolding, known only to Dawayne, whose heart harbored a secret as dark as the night. Every gesture of kindness, every moment shared, was part of a larger scheme, a calculated plan to win Mary Jayne's trust and love, all while plotting a revenge that had nothing to do with her and everything to do with the man she once loved, Michael King. In this seemingly perfect relationship, Mary Jayne's world was unknowingly inching towards an abyss. The love she thought she had found was a mirage, carefully constructed by a man driven by a vendetta that consumed him. Dawayne's ability to mask his true intentions was as chilling as the plan he was set to execute, a plan that would soon turn their lives upside down. The morning of October 4, 2024, began just like any other for Mary Jayne Collins, a 23-year-old mother striving to create a stable life for her 2 young sons. But beneath the surface of her seemingly ordinary day lay a tension that only she and a few close friends could sense. In the weeks leading up to this day, Mary Jayne had confided in her friends about the escalating abuse she was enduring from Dawayland Hurst, a man she once believed was a loving partner. She sent them desperate text messages, accompanied by photographs of fresh bruises and bite marks, signs of a more deadly plot unfolding in her life. Dawayland Hurst had woven himself into Mary Jayne's life with a purpose far more malicious than anyone could have imagined. This was no ordinary case of domestic violence, it was a cold, calculated act of revenge that had been meticulously planned for months. Hurst's real motive was hidden beneath layers of deceit and manipulation, a vendetta against the father of Mary Jayne's children, Michael King, who was serving time for the murder of Hurst's half-brother, Dijon Triplet, 4 years prior. As the morning light filtered through the blinds of her modest apartment in Seabrook, Texas, Mary Jayne went about her routine, unaware of the storm that was about to engulf her life. Around 11:15 a.m., a video call was made from the prison where Michael King was incarcerated. This call, intended to maintain a connection between a father and his son, quickly turned into a scene of psychological torment. Dawayland Hurst deliberately positioned himself in the frame, his demeanor shifting from that of a supportive partner to a menacing adversary. "Remember me?" Hurst taunted King, his voice dripping with malice. The chilling confrontation was captured on video, a digital witness to the unfolding horror. In a shocking act of cruelty, Hurst struck King's young son, the sound of the child's cry piercing through the call and sending Mary Jayne into a desperate frenzy to protect her child. The call ended abruptly, cutting off the chaos, but the violence within apartment 247 was far from over. By 11:30 a.m., neighbors reported hearing a series of screams followed by a deafening silence. When first responders arrived, they were met with a scene of unspeakable tragedy. Mary Jayne Collins lay lifeless, the victim of blunt force trauma and a single, fatal stab wound. The apartment bore signs of a violent struggle: furniture overturned, a coffee table shattered, and a broken phone that lay as a silent testament to her final, unanswered call for help. Amidst the devastation, Mary Jayne's two young sons were found huddled together in a closet, following their mother's last instructions to hide and stay quiet. The older boy, barely 9 years old, had shielded his younger brother, whispering comforting words as their world collapsed around them. The murder of Mary Jayne Collins was not just a tragic act of violence, but a calculated move in a chilling game of revenge, leaving two innocent children to grapple with the loss of their mother and the betrayal of a man they had come to know. As the investigation unfolded, the community of Seabrook was left to mourn and seek justice for a life taken too soon, a stark reminder of the destructive power of vengeance and the innocent lives it can shatter in its wake. As we explore this complex narrative, a pivotal question arises. Do you believe Charles Hurst was justified in seeking revenge for his half-brother, or was his path of retribution inherently wrong? This question challenges us to consider the motivations behind revenge and the consequences that follow. We invite you to share your perspective in the comments below. Whether you see Hurst's actions as a misguided attempt at justice or an unforgivable transgression, your voice is vital in this dialogue. Engage with us and others in this community to explore the nuances of justice, revenge, and morality. In the aftermath of the brutal murder of Mary Jayne Collins, the Seabrook Police Department launched a thorough investigation, determined to bring justice for a young mother whose life was tragically cut short. The case quickly unfolded into a complex web of deception and revenge, requiring meticulous work from detectives and forensic experts to unravel the truth behind the chilling crime. From the moment first responders arrived at the Teakwood apartment complex, it was clear that this was no ordinary case of domestic violence. The scene inside Mary Jayne's apartment was a testament to the violence that had transpired. Forensic teams scoured every inch of the space, collecting crucial evidence that would later prove vital in piecing together the events of that fateful day. As investigators combed through the apartment, they found signs of a fierce struggle: overturned furniture, shattered glass, and bloodstains marking the path of a desperate fight for survival. But it was the digital evidence that would provide the most compelling insights into the killer's identity and motives. Among the most significant pieces of evidence was the video call footage, a chilling record of the confrontation between Dawayland Hurst and Michael King. This footage captured not only Hurst's violent actions towards King's son but also his taunting words, revealing his deep-seated vendetta. Detectives interviewed key witnesses, including neighbors who had heard the commotion and friends who had received Mary Jayne's desperate messages in the days leading up to her death. These interviews painted a picture of a woman living in fear, trapped in a relationship with a man who had meticulously planned to use her as a pawn in his quest for revenge. The investigation also delved into Hurst's digital footprint, uncovering months of planning and surveillance. Investigators discovered that Hurst had monitored Mary Jayne's online activity through fake social media accounts, tracking her movements and interactions. He had even gone so far as to research her daily routines and personal connections, all in preparation for his calculated strike. The breakthrough in the case came with the combination of digital forensics and the video call evidence. The call, which had initially been dismissed as a domestic dispute, was now seen as pivotal in identifying Hurst as the perpetrator. His presence in the apartment during the call, coupled with the physical evidence of his DNA throughout the crime scene, painted an undeniable picture of guilt. As the net closed in on Dawayland Hurst, authorities learned that he was attempting to flee the country. For 3 weeks, he had managed to evade capture, using cash to stay off the grid and moving between locations to avoid detection. But his attempts to escape justice were ultimately thwarted by a tip-off that led police to a motel room in Texas City. In a swift and coordinated operation, law enforcement officers surrounded the motel, preparing to arrest Hurst. Inside the room, they found him packing belongings, including fake identification documents and a significant amount of cash, clear signs of his intent to disappear. The arrest was executed without incident, bringing an end to Hurst's flight from justice. In the days following his capture, Hurst was charged with first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and multiple counts of child endangerment. The evidence against him was overwhelming, a testament to the relentless efforts of law enforcement to seek justice for Mary Jayne Collins and her family. The investigation into Mary Jayne's murder not only highlighted the power of modern forensic analysis and digital evidence but also underscored the dedication of those who worked tirelessly to bring a killer to justice. As the case moved towards trial, the community of Seabrook remained united in their resolve to ensure that Mary Jayne's tragic story would not be forgotten, serving as a sobering reminder of the far-reaching consequences of revenge and violence. The murder of Mary Jayne Collins profoundly impacted her family and the Seabrook community. Her family faced immense emotional and psychological challenges, especially her 2 young sons, who had witnessed the tragedy. Her grandmother became their guardian, providing stability and care. The older son struggled with anxiety, while the younger developed attachment issues, both requiring extensive support to heal. The community mourned deeply, holding vigils to honor Mary Jayne and support her family. Her death became a rallying point for preventing future tragedies, leading to advocacy efforts and reforms focused on domestic violence and revenge-motivated crimes. Local advocacy groups heightened awareness about abusive relationships and pushed for legislative reforms to protect vulnerable individuals, particularly single parents. Improved monitoring of prison communications was proposed to prevent their misuse. Additionally, specialized programs were developed to support children who witness domestic violence, and schools implemented mental health resources. Mary Jayne's story inspired change, emphasizing the need for collective action against violence. Her legacy continues to drive efforts to recognize and address hidden dangers in relationships, ensuring her death was not in vain. Mary Jayne Collins' story highlights the profound impact of revenge and domestic violence on society. These acts affect victims, families, and communities, showing the destructive power of unchecked emotions. Preventing such tragedies requires recognizing warning signs of abuse and intervening early. Educating ourselves and others on these signs is crucial to providing victims with necessary support. Empathy is key in this effort. By fostering understanding and compassion, we encourage open dialogue about domestic violence, breaking down silence and stigma. This leads to more proactive protection for those at risk. The lessons from Mary Jayne's story emphasize vigilance and kindness. By being attentive and empathetic, we can help prevent future tragedies and create a safe, supportive community. As we reflect on Mary Jayne Collins' story, let us ask ourselves, how can we work together to break cycles of violence and protect the most vulnerable among us? This call to action urges us to unite in preventing violence, fostering empathy, and ensuring safety for all. If Mary Jayne Collins' story resonated with you, please like and share this video. By doing so, you help bring attention to stories that need to be heard and might offer help to someone in need. Don't forget to subscribe for more content that aims to inform and inspire action. Together, we can make a difference.